Imagine an American technology company announces a massive project in the Philippines. Billions of pesos could flow into the country. Thousands of jobs might be created. Local business could boom. Politicians call it a sign that the Philippines is becoming a global technology hub. But here's the question nobody seems to be asking: who will actually benefit? Will ordinary Filipinos finally get better paying jobs? Or will we simply provide cheap land, cheap electricity, and cheap labor, while most of the profits leave the country? Today we're talking about Pax Silica, one of the newest American technology investments planned for the Philippines, and whether this project could change the country's future or become another example of growth that leaves ordinary Filipinos behind. Before discussing the pros and cons, let's understand what Pax Silica is. Pax Silica is an American company planning to develop a large-scale digital infrastructure in the Philippines. While project details continue to evolve publicly, the investment has been presented as part of a broader push to expand advanced computing infrastructure that could support cloud services, artificial intelligence, data processing, and other technology-intensive industries. But why the Philippines? There are several reasons. First, the Philippines is one of the youngest populations in Asia. Second, English proficiency is among the highest in the region. Third, labor costs remain lower than in many developed countries. And finally, demand for digital infrastructure is growing rapidly throughout Southeast Asia. As AI becomes more common, companies need more facilities capable of processing enormous amounts of data. These facilities require massive investments. The Philippines wants to attract these investments because they promise jobs, taxes, and international recognition. But attracting investment is only the beginning. The real question is whether the benefits will spread throughout society. Let's begin with the positives. First is more jobs. The biggest advantage is employment for construction workers, engineers, architects, electricians, security personnel, maintenance workers, IT specialists, administrative staff, even nearby restaurants, hotels, convenience stores, and transport services could benefit from increased business. Large infrastructure projects often create ripple effects throughout local communities. Second is foreign investment. Foreign direct investment is generally positive for developing economies. When international companies spend money inside the Philippines, local suppliers often receive contracts. Construction companies get work, equipment suppliers earn revenue, transportation firms gain customers. This creates additional economic activity. Third is technology transfer. Perhaps the most important long term benefit is knowledge. If Filipino engineers work alongside international experts, they gain valuable technical skills. Those skills don't disappear when a project ends. Workers can eventually move into another industries or even create their own companies. Countries like Singapore and South Korea benefited enormously from learning advanced technologies through foreign investment decades ago. Fourth is improved infrastructure. Large technology projects sometimes encourage improvements in roads, fiber optic networks, substations, and internet connectivity. Nearby communities may also benefit if these upgrades become available to the public. Now let's discuss the challenges because every major project has trade offs. First is electricity consumption. Modern computing facilities consume enormous amounts of electricity. Artificial intelligence systems requires thousands of powerful processors operating 24 hours a day. That means huge demand for power. Now think about the Philippines. Many households already complain about some of the highest electricity prices in Southeast Asia. Businesses struggle with energy costs. If electricity generation does not expand as quickly as demand, increased consumption from large industrial users could place additional pressure on the power system. Whether that translates into higher price depends on many factors, including new power generation, transmission upgrades, energy policy, and utility pricing. This raises an important policy question. Should the country first invest more aggressively in expanding reliable and affordable electricity before encouraging more energy intensive industries? Second is water consumption. Many advanced computing facilities use cooling systems to keep servers from overheating. Depending on the design, this can require significant amounts of water, although some newer facilities use air cooling or recycled water to reduce consumption. In parts of the Philippines that already experience water shortages during the dry season, careful water management will be essential. Communities naturally want assurance that industrial demand will not reduce access to clean water for households. Third is noise pollution. Construction itself can last months or years. Heavy equipment, trucks, concrete mixers, pile driving, traffic. After completion, facilities also rely on backup generators, cooling equipment, and ventilation systems, which can generate continuous background noise if not properly managed. Communities near these projects deserve strong environmental safeguards. Next one is flooding. Another concern is land development. If large areas are covered with concrete, roofs, and paved roads without proper drainage systems, rainwater has fewer places to soak into the ground. The Philippines already experiences severe flooding during typhoons and heavy rainfall, so poor planning could make localized flooding even worse. Good engineering, drainage, and environmental impact assessments become absolutely critical. Will poor Filipinos actually benefit? This is probably the most important question. Supporters argue these projects create jobs and attract investment. Critics argue the highest paying positions often require specialized engineering, software, cybersecurity, or AI expertise. If many Filipinos lack access to advanced technical education, they could end up filling mostly construction or support roles, while the highest paying jobs go to highly skilled professionals, whether local or international. That doesn't mean the project is bad. It means education becomes just as important as investment. If universities, technical schools, and government agencies work together to train Filipinos for these higher skilled roles, more of the economic benefits can stay in the country. Without that preparation, the opportunity could be unevenly distributed. Will Americans benefit more than Filipinos? This doesn't have a simple yes or no answer. American investors naturally hope to earn returns on their investment. That's how private businesses operate. The Philippines, meanwhile, hopes to gain employment, tax revenue, technology, and economic growth. The outcome depends less on where the company comes from and more on how the project is managed. If environmental rules are enforced, local workers are trained, infrastructure is upgraded, and communities share in the benefits, then both sides can gain. If those safeguards are weak, the benefits may be concentrated among investors and a relatively small segment of the workforce. Pax Silica represents something much bigger than one company. It represents the kind of future the Philippines wants to build, a future powered by technology, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, digital infrastructure. These industries are growing worldwide, and the Philippines has an opportunity to participate. But growth should never be measured only by the size of an investment. The real measure is whether ordinary Filipinos experience better wages, better opportunities, better infrastructures, and a higher quality of life. A successful project is not just one that attracts billions of pesos. It is one that leaves communities stronger than before. So what do you think? Is Pax Silica the beginning of a new era for the Philippines? Or should the country be more cautious about welcoming energy-intensive technology projects before solving long-standing issues like expensive electricity, flooding, and access to clean water? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want more videos like this about Philippine economy, investing, and don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!